Well, I was up this morning early, and my son and I were kind of just hanging around the house. We kind of heard a sputter. It was really loud. I wasn't sure what it was, and we kind of blew it off. But shortly after that, my son came back and said he started getting text messages from friends of his saying that it was some sort of aircraft or something that went down.
Yeah, and what were the weather conditions like at that time?
Early in the morning, it was foggy. It was like a dense fog, cloudy. You couldn't really see up there. So
we got up here about 11:30, and it was pretty foggy there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was really foggy.
Your thoughts? You guys came out here because of who it was. It was Kobe and four other people that lost their lives in this crash. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's tragic, you know. It's another death. You know, he was close. I had a close place in my heart. I went to his gym, Mamba Academy. You know, knew a lot of people there.
You met him?
Yes.
He helped coach you?
Yeah.
And it wasn't guys only, girls too.
Girls, toddlers, children. Yeah, there was a lot of different genders, ethnicities.
And one thing that impressed me about this guy was he had four daughters, and he really was invested in their lives that we could see from the outside. Took them to WNBA games at Staples Center. Yeah. I think went to more of those games than he ever went to the Staples Center.
Yeah.
But wanted to show them, hey, these are great role models here. He coached his daughter's team.
Absolutely.
He coached you.
And ironically enough, like you said, his daughters were at the academy as well, and they were, participants, down to earth folks. And, like I said, it's an unfortunate tragedy. When I left out this morning, it was just a little media buildup, but now you can see it's just people are coming from all angles.
Are you still in disbelief? I think a lot of us are.
Yeah, most certainly still shocked, and it's gonna take a while, but we just pray for him and his family.
Alan, and your last name is?
Delaney.
And basketball stars, lots of basketball stars. What separated this guy? I know that he was now fourth on the all-time NBA scoring list, but there was something magical about this guy.
I recall when he came in the league, and I believe
as an 18-year-old.
Absolutely, the Charlotte Hornets had drafted him. The Lakers picked him up from that point. But it was a lot of similarities, obviously, with Michael Jordan's game. I go back a little bit with Dr. J, so I kind of follow the trend. But Kobe had his own style. He had his own way about him, and just to see him go at 41 is a very unfortunate thing.
What made him a star that stood out among stars for you?
His work ethic. He was always in the gym, never stopped. Trying to get better, trying to do things differently than other stars were doing. And yeah, like he was something special.
He was driven. Well, thank you both very much for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to check in over here. Sarah and Jeff, this is a young lady I saw over here, and you were really having a tough time dealing with this. Your name, please?
I'm Shanice.
Shanice, and your last name?
Clark.
Okay. You've been standing here, and I'm guessing boyfriend comforting you, but you were really distraught earlier. Your thoughts?
It's just hard. It's really unreal, and it's really heartbreaking. Like, this is somebody who meant a lot to LA, not just because he was one of the greatest talents that will ever come from this city, but he's a big part of a lot of people's pastimes. Like, a lot of people, like even me, like, I remember going to the games as a kid with my dad, and we would just get the nosebleed seats and bond, and like, that's something that's instilled in your childhood. So when he's gone, like, a lot of our memories feel a little bit torn.
And for most of us, we're going to die when we get to be 95 or 102 or something like this. 41 years old, a vibrant personality. That is what's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how his wife's going to get through this, but I know the whole city of LA and the world is going to be right behind her. There's a lot of love in this city, so we're just going to try and be there for everybody the best way we can, and hopefully they do something big to remember him. And we feel him every day, but this hurts.
You're looking up there. I just saw you just staring at the smoke coming up from the wreckage there, and thoughts going through your mind.
It's one of those things where if you don't see it, you don't believe it. I have a lot of people like messaging me and calling me like, is this real? And I had to come. I live so close, I had to come and see, because it's like there's just no way. There's no way. So it's really heartbreaking, and I'm looking at it right now, and I still don't believe it, and I don't want to believe it.
I understand that. And are you surprised that you're joined by so many Kobe fans?
Not at all. I am not surprised. I think this is just the start. I think it's going to be really, really crowded for quite a while. And it's just going to be crazy for a long time.
My best to you.
Thanks.
Sarah?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Hey, Greg, we understand that Kobe was traveling with 3 others, and Kobe makes 4. The pilot is one. That's 5 on board of that aircraft. None survived. Are you hearing any word there at the scene as to who may have passed away beyond Kobe Bryant?
What I'm hearing, I've heard that one of his daughters was on board with him, and apparently what I'm hearing, I've heard that one of his daughters was on board with him, and a parent of another child that was a basketball player and that child. And I also have heard that they were heading to a tournament, or heading now, I guess, back from a tournament. That is what I've heard. I have not confirmed that, but that is what I'm hearing.
I mean, certainly we're going to work to confirm that, and we want to wait until we confirm that information before we share it in an official capacity with our viewers. But Greg, certainly if that is true, this loss is just compounded, and Kobe Bryant's family, who is very tight-knit, as Jim Hill has been reporting, and as we've all seen throughout the years, this is a really, really tough time for them. I've been getting texts from friends all afternoon since this happened. Family members, friends, heartbroken, they're crying, and I got a text from another friend who's a basketball player who I've played sports with over the years, and she said she just feels like a piece of her heart is gone.
Well, it's amazing because it's not just LA friends. I have friends in Detroit and San Antonio, and I've had text messages from them all expressing their concern and their dismay as to what happened here with Kobe Bryant on this Sunday morning. Let's go now to Joy Benedict. She is live in front of Kobe's home in Newport Beach. What's the latest there, Joy? Do we have Joy? I guess not. Okay, well, let's continue to give you the latest information. This is about 9:40. Is she there?
She's going to be joining us in just a few moments. We're establishing a signal with her now. Just so you know, Joy is in Newport Coast. Kobe is a longtime resident of that area, as many people know in the LA area. And I think I've talked to Jim personally over the last couple weeks and months about people seeing Kobe in Orange County and stopping traffic, and just what an amazing thing that was to see.
Oh, it really is. And like I mentioned a little while ago, he's one of the few people that I have ever known that can walk across the street and stop traffic. Right. And people would just yell and scream and holler, Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. And I would see young kids just break away from their parents and start running towards him. And, the heck with traffic and stuff like that. Yeah, and one of the people that I respect the most, I call him, if you're familiar with astrology, he's like that shining star. He can get you back. Discovered Kobe and Jerry West, and Jerry is with us right now. And Jerry, I appreciate you being here with us today, my friend, because I know this is a tough day for all of us, but especially for you because you were the one that discovered Kobe.
Well, Jim, I really didn't discover Kobe, okay? There was, he was a great young high school player in that time. It wasn't in vogue to draft players like that. And as I say, it was part of the process of getting here. His agent, Norntellum, and myself were able to, working through the draft till he became a Laker. And those were very exciting moments for us to get a young, charismatic kid like him, but more importantly, a very unique talent. And it was start of a long, I don't say process, but start of a long friendship and working relationship. And to hear this news this morning, frankly, at first I was shocked. And then after a while, it's really sunk in. And, to see the transformation of him from a 17-year-old kid who used to spend time at my house with me to my son Ryan driving him around because he couldn't drive. He couldn't even sign a contract because he was too young. To him, the constant questions about the NBA, wanting me to go to a gym with him to watch him work out and maybe make suggestions to him. It was more than, I really felt like a surrogate father to him. And then as his career blossomed and, he started to establish this enormous reputation as a player and also filled with accomplishments. But his charisma on top of it was something that most great players don't have, and he had